And we are live, not without a little bit of struggle, but thank you all for hanging in there. It says none of you are watching, but you're chatting with me in the comments. So that's kind of odd. But things continue to get stranger and stranger every day. We'll be right back. Johnny Litecoin after this. Hey, Johnny, good to see you today. Thanks for being patient with all my frustration happening in the background with connecting and, all the things. It worked fine this morning. I was on WBRT, World Blockchain Roundtable, on DIN or Dragon Chain with the guys this morning talking about end of year stuff, and there was no problem. And then I put some things in the title here. I need to be probably less specific on my titles.
I think it's me and you, Lisa. I think they're on to us.
I don't think they like us getting together.
I feel like I'm innocent, like I'm giving an innocent, sweet message, but apparently I'm striking some chords.
I think so. I think they don't want people to know the information that you're sharing. And I think that's sad because you're really trying to help people kind of find their way.
I think too, because I'm giving info based on real life experiences that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And it's like this K, he's not just reading it, or he's actually telling stuff that he's seeing. And that's kind of like, they're like,
yeah, I had a guy, we stood in line this morning for a sale, but I got what I wanted. So I'm very happy.
Oh, nice. Look at that. Sweet.
Yeah, but it's my Wonder Woman bracelet. I need one for this arm. But this guy was in there and he's like, oh yeah, but all that, it could be worse. It could be like those cyber attacks in China. I just started laughing. I was like, are you talking about in Tulsa at Hillcrest Hospital and all over? Like it's happening in the payment systems. It's just rolling and they're manipulating it. And he was like, what? And everybody in the line's like, what?
So speaking of the stuff, I've seen more stuff in the medical system where a thing for a software where normally you'd go in to do like the bill pay, that whole section was taken down. And someone was asking me about it. And I said, well, it's because of the hacks, because of all these systems were hacked. And they were like, and they thought about it, like that makes sense. Like they're like, why else now would they not let you pay the bill and you can't go in there to pay your bill? I said, because that's passing payment info, and they had that got hit.
Interesting. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to bring up. I didn't put it in the title, but the T-Mobile has on their website, and I shared it in the Telegram group. You guys can join. There's a link in the description. Join for free. I also share information on my Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, I appreciate your support. It helps me keep things going in the background. And you can private message me there as well. But I digress. This T-Mobile, I don't know if you'd heard about this, Johnny. They came out with a statement that they did like this soft reset, or on January 1st, where they are going to start fining customers.
I've seen that, yeah.
For chat, speech, hate, something, and like tobacco, firearms. So if you talk about something they deem hate speech, if you show guns or tobacco or whatever, anywhere from a $500 to $2,000 fine per incident. Can you imagine getting your phone bill and having like that and it said through SMS, MS, and some other kind of, they were talking about all the different ways. And basically it's like, if you speak it on the phone, if you tweet it or send it in a text message, or if you send it through any kind of notification service through an app, is how you would get dinged by T-Mobile. And I think that is pretty incredible. That kind of coincided to me with, there was this guy's rant, and I was trying to find it on X, but I got signed out of Twitter the other day, so it's really hard for me to find things now. Oh, now I'm completely
It proves too, Lisa, that they're monitoring our communications.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you about. There was just a letter that came out in the Senate from the head of finance, or one of the guys in finance in the Senate, who just is demanding. They're demanding that there was so when you send a push notification, it goes to a cloud and then goes to your phone. And so uh, Google and Apple are the two clouds. One's Android and one's Apple. I guess they said like the Google is like 70% of phones, Android, and Apple's like 29% of phones or something.
Apple's more in the US, but worldwide,
Okay.
Android blows it away. It's just in the US, Apple's more popular.
So the way that this came out was that the Department of Finance was trying to get this information, and they sent a subpoena to Google and Apple for this information. And they said, we can't, there's a gag order on us from the US government to not give you that information, that they are collecting this information from that other governments, not just our government, other governments are collecting so the push notifications are, if you think about every push notification you get, hey, your Amazon package arrived, or every email, it gives the first little line or whatever your subject. Think about all the information that these governments, so our satellites or our clouds are all corrupted. We have no privacy. Our privacy has been violated. And it's been a gag order ordered on it by the US government for Google and Apple to not disclose this to we the people. So that is there's a link to that on my Telegram as well.
Not only has our privacy been taken from us, it's looked upon as bad and nefarious. If you want privacy, it's why do you need that? What are you doing wrong?
It's like asking everyone to walk up and down the street naked all the time. It's like, look, there's a reason even Adam and Eve put a little leaf on every once in a while. Like, we don't all need to see all of everyone's business all the time.
No, and there's a lot of reasons, even in the crypto sphere, because people say, well, why would anybody need privacy in transacting? And I said, well, would you want to walk around disclosing your bank account balance at all times or wearing your banks? People say, no, of course not. I said, well, it's no different in the crypto sphere wanting to have privacy, because how crypto is, the transparency of it, you can see everything. It's permissionless. But when people think people want privacy with their bank account and social security number. But then when it comes to their crypto, they're like, no, you're bad if you want privacy. It's like, no. It's the same exact concept. Yeah, the privacy is a human right. It's like
is.
Yeah,
it's in our Constitution, actually.
Our Constitution, which is violated constantly, which we know.
Constantly violated nowadays, yeah.
Constantly violated. I mean, we've talked about it before. The Patriot Act kind of ruined the Constitution. What a shame, but that's the world in which we live. That was supposed to be temporary, I believe, and that's been
so were taxes.
22 years, taxes.
You're supposed to be temporary.
Gold standard, taking us off the gold window. That was a temporary suspension 52 years ago. Nothing's. It's kind of like the old saying, nothing's more permanent than a temporary government program.
Right. COVID was 2 weeks, 15 days, not even 15 days to wasn't it?
I remember my neighbor at the time said to me, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. And I walked in. I said, he thinks it's only going to be 2 weeks. Oh my God. And I said, oh my God. I said, this is going to rule our lives for 5 years. I mean, bothering us
or more.
Or more. It's going to change the world indefinitely. And that was when Uncle Cliff, before that year hit, he was talking about it was year zero. That was year zero at the Litecoin summit. He came in on the screen at Bix Weir's
Bix's event. Yeah.
Bix's event. Yeah. And he was saying it's year zero. And I remember, wow, it's to me, I was freaking out in 2019 because the repo market blew apart. And that to me was like, you know, they couldn't stop it. And I was like, this isn't good. Like, how do they fix this thing? And it was like getting worse and worse. And then the phenomenon of COVID fixed it because they were able to do different things. They were able to slow the velocity of money while printing money. That's kind of like a phenomenon that can't exist, where you print money and inject it into the economy, but then you slow down the velocity of money. Means how fast money moves around. So you slow down
by raising the interest rates.
They slowed down the velocity because they shut the world down. So they shut everything down. So that slowed down the money from moving around. And then they printed money. Stuff with interest rates too helped that. But mainly, you know, the printing of money. So they injected money. That's when, like, when you saw the M2 and all that went skyrocketed. Then the velocity went in the other direction. If they didn't do that, we would have went right into like a hyperinflation. They needed to do that whole thing to avoid an immediate hyperinflation.
Which we're going into now, I guess, starting to see. That reminded me, there's a new picture on this debt clock, Gone with the Wind, which we'll get into that in a minute. The fact that changed today, and it shows this little silver coin peeking out behind this gold.
It says debt-free currency on there too.
Yeah, but look at that little silver coin, walking liberty, sneaking out behind it. Gold backed? No, maybe silver backed.
And it says payable to the bearer on demand. And that's what money, actually I carry with me a silver certificate. This one's really worn and old, but show it to you guys.
Let me move you to the center. Oh, wait, what did I just do? Hold on. Sorry. There you go. Oh, so that's cool. So it looks like $1, but
it's all trickery. So it's designed kind of, they're pulling a magic trick on us. So it says silver certificate. And then at the bottom, it says $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. But to most people, this looks like $1. It looks like a Fed note. Unless you're trained in currency and monetary systems and how the monetary system works and different currencies, you won't know. If you're just out there spending money, $1 is $1. So they pulled a magic trick on us. And these weren't Fed notes. This does not say Federal Reserve note anywhere. This just says this certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States $1. And that's $1 in silver. So this was, to me, these are really cool to keep. I kind of keep one of these on me just to teach people about money. They start asking me stuff again.
Sure.
You can't get into the crypto conversation with people unless they have to have some basis of where we came from.
Right. That was my first question when I asked Mom, why? When she gave us Litecoin for our wedding, I was like, why?
It'd be like telling someone that they have to change their diet and eat really well, but you don't explain why. They're going to be like, well, why? I think this sugary food that's bad for you tastes a lot better and I'm addicted to it. Why should I eat this other stuff? You have to kind of give them a little bit of background of why, different reasons why, diseases or health, weight, whatever reasons you want to give, right? But then they'd say, wow, it's going to help, all that stuff makes sense. Explaining Bitcoin, if you just go into it, people are like, well, why do we need this? Don't we have that? Don't we have Venmo already?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing? And without understanding scarcity and sound money and hard currency, hard currency is a tough concept for most people. Because again, there haven't been, if you explain it to them for a couple minutes, then they're like, oh, okay, that makes, the best way to, sorry to get off track, but the best way to explain money to people. I don't have 100 on me. I have a 50 on me. So take out your biggest bill, 50 or 100. So you show them that. It's okay. Here's a $50 bill. Here's a $1 bill. And this is a Fed note, right? These are both Fed notes, Federal Reserve notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you say, what is the difference in these two bills? And they say, oh, one's worth more. And I say, well, one is recognized as more in terms of spending power, but to make these bills, what's the difference in cost? They're just printing different things on the same piece of paper. And then you say, when there was hard currency, when the money was backed by gold or silver, or when coinage was silver, they had to have that on deposit at the Treasury. The money had to be backed. There had to be an equal value in gold available. And to print a dollar wasn't like just printing a worthless dollar. There had to be gold backing it. And that starts to kind of make sense to people. And you explain to them how we came off of this gold standard. There's no more silver in the coinage. You explain that to people. Then you kind of lead them up to Bitcoin. And then the most important things to explain to people about Bitcoin is that it's an invention. I tell people it's an invention of two things. They figured out a way to send value across the internet from point A to point B. And you're actually sending the value. It's kind of like you're sending a bit of that coin through the internet, and now you don't have a copy of it. You don't have ownership of it anymore. Somebody else does. They figured out a way to transfer that ownership across the internet. And then B, they created digital scarcity in the internet. There's never been anything on the internet that's really been scarce like that. Everything's been copies.
Yeah.
Now they
made a copy. Yeah.
They created this digital scarcity. So they did, again, it's a hard concept to people, but it's use simple things. That's why a lot of these Bitcoin maximalists and stuff, they overcomplicate everything too much. And they look down on people too much. Oh, you're not running a Raspberry Pi and this and that and blah, 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 and this protocol and weird things about eating meat. Like I've talked about that before. I'm like, I didn't get that at all. I'm like, these people are bragging about eating meat. It's like an inside joke. I did a video one day. I said, do I look like I'm freaking eating meat?
I think it is. There's some other weird things. Sean was talking about this morning on WBRT that there's some information out there about some NFTs that are like racist and Nazi or something. The Bored Ape things. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but do your own research. I
wouldn't doubt it
about that. But he was talking about, maybe look on his channel. I bet he'll talk about it on his redneck, crypto rednecks on Sean.
And the whole NFT thing, the NFTs are, the technology of it's cool. A concert ticket, maybe your medical records, maybe your title. For a car, title for a home. I think for me, the number one use for an NFT will be to validate a real world item. You sell someone a baseball card and the authentication is an NFT. Now you transfer them that NFT along with that real world item. Any real world item that should be authenticated should have an NFT with it. That way it's on the blockchain, uncorruptible. You could transfer ownership and it's a non-fungible. That's the value in it, not pictures of apes that are worth millions.
And the fact that you could write into the smart contract things like I just had a conversation with a guy this morning. He works for a big college in the athletic department in their IT. And anyway, we had all kinds of conversations, but one of them was talking about this whole name identity image or something like that. It's like your IP basically. The property that is Litecoin Lisa or Lisa Davis, whatever, is mine. And so he was talking about how I was telling him about this lawsuit thing. Well, he was telling me about the lawsuit. I was telling him about my nephew going to play on a thing, and then there was this issue where this guy was talking about how they stopped playing these video games, had to stop the NCAA video games because the players weren't getting paid, and the coaches make millions. They're some of the highest paid people in the United States are these college coaches, but their
Yeah.
players who are doing the work don't get paid a thing because they're amateurs. And so now there's a couple years ago, this guy told me, he goes, there's actually a lawsuit, and that's why they pulled those video games. And now they're trying to do things to have the players get paid, start getting paid now. He said, and actually they're getting ready to release a new NCAA game, and the players will be paid. Well, that's a perfect use case for that, because you could make it an NFT to go with the game. And in that smart contract, you could write that person's wallet address, those players' wallet addresses, and they get so much percentage of every
Yeah.
purchase of every game or use, or however that works. I don't
That's
know.
a really good use. Even how you could write into it where you always get paid on it, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like
Whether it's music or whatever, if
yes.
they're using your likeness or whatever it is you engage with, they're using your property, your IP, then that could be written into a NFT smart contract. And every time it's passed between owners or used or whatever, then that residual income could be sent to the right wallet addresses. So yeah, there's great use case for NFT. It makes me think that's also one of the things, like that was maybe a dark hat operation to damage the image of NFTs, kind of like the FTX thing. People thought it was about crypto because they called it crypto, but it was really legacy finance. Um, it was big boys on Wall Street playing
I
using a
think it's
cover
an
of crypto.
effort by you know, the Agenda 2030
Yeah.
people. You'll own nothing and be happy.
Mhm.
Why buy, why buy something real when you could get a JPEG of a monkey and pay $1 million for it? Why buy? Now there is something to the metaverse. I gotta say now, like meetings and things like that,
Mhm.
shopping. If you can go to a store, then it's a lot better than a Zoom meeting, right?
Well, and it would be better than these kids buying. I can tell you, Christmas just happened, and my kid wanted V-Bucks. V-Bucks are the biggest scam. If anybody's running a scam, it is that company and V-Bucks, because you are getting nothing other than to look at something for a short period of time. You don't own anything. You can't trade it. You can't. So you're giving these V-Bucks to get a magic skin suit or something to look at for a week or 3 days or something. I don't know even how it all works, but it is like the dumbest thing. You can't move it off game.
Nope.
You can't take possession of it.
It's got no real world
It's
value.
got no value, no real world value. To me, it has no value at all, but to these kids, it has value. I guess it's like, fast fashion, and you throw it away after 2 weeks or
It's
whatever.
clout.
But yeah,
Like
I guess.
Roblox, but
Yes.
you buy the Robux.
Mhm.
That's how you load into the game. That lets you buy stuff and buy in-game
Inside the game.
items. And funny story about that. I was buying my daughter something, and it makes you put in your birthday. So I said, I'll put in my birthday. And she goes, Daddy, why shouldn't we put in my birthday? So I think, pray you got to be an adult. I don't know. I just always put my birthday in. She goes,
Mm.
don't you think they think it's strange a 41-year-old man is playing this game?
Well, unfortunately, there are some
I said,
forty-something-year-old men playing that game, and there are some weird things going on, so keep your eyes on them when they're playing
well,
it.
and that's why I always was kind of with my kids. I didn't shelter them from anything. I kind of
Mm.
tell them a lot of stuff because I want them to be aware. I don't want them to be naive.
Right.
I
And be in danger. Yeah.
I'd rather have them be aware. And they've had a couple years ago, I remember somebody like targeting them that said they're asking them, where do you live? They were like, oh, I'm a girl, I'm this age. And they recognized it right away. They're like, this doesn't seem right. We don't want to give them any information because they were trained to beware of this stuff. You know what I mean? So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and Streetwise is good. It is good,
Yes.
man. As much as we want to shelter the kids, it's better to have them kind of be in the know at least, so they look out for this stuff, so they're ready for the world that's out there, especially with the online stuff. It's
Yeah.
coming at you from all angles.
Yeah. I wouldn't take my 13-year-old and stick him in a bar downtown by himself on the middle of the night or the weekend or anytime and leave him alone for strangers to talk to him. Why in the hell would I leave him on the internet alone where you don't know who's talking
Yeah,
to them? You need to be watching these things. You need to be, and they are going to get mad. They're not going to like it because, they met some guy in a chat room that was friends with their friend's friend and he seemed fun and, well, hello, I want to play with him and he's always on and whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. Tell me how you know each person. I check every once in a while. And if you can't tell me, they're blocked and they're gone because that's not how a 13-year-old is going to engage in the world in my house. It's unsafe and I'm responsible for you. And
yeah.
if you don't like it, I'm really sorry, but I'm your mother and it's my job to keep you safe and raise you to be an adult, not to be your friend.
Kids, 100% right. Kids don't always like when you parent. It's tough decisions, but
Mhm.
to be a good parent, you're not always the best friend. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
you're making those tough decisions. My kids say I'm strict. I'm strict. But I say, well, what am I strict with? Walking around, doing stuff.
Your
Okay.
safety. Yeah.
What am I not
Right.
strict with? I'm not strict with going to bed. I said, well, going to bed. I said, that's kind of thing where if you're tired the next morning, you're going to
You're gonna
start
have
realizing
consequences.
to keep you safe, that's my job, when it
Mhm.
comes to, hey, if I'm yelling at you to eat something you don't want to eat, then you know what? No problem. When you're hungry later, you're going to realize I should have ate. I'm
Mhm.
tired the next morning. I'm going to realize, gee, maybe daddy's right. I should go to bed earlier, but
Mhm.
keeping you safe around people, strangers, creeps.
Yeah.
That's not a thing where, hey, I want to let you test out and see what happens. That's the kind of thing that no, daddy's going to be strict, and if you don't like it, tough crap. This
I
is
love it.
this is my rule. So that's parents have to put their foot down more. It's not about being
That's how we
everyone.
got in this mess, is everybody started being soft and all this political correctness,
Yeah.
and every
Oh
kid
yeah.
gets a participation ribbon and all that, and
Oh yeah.
we all need boundaries to be healthy. That is a healthy way to behave, and kids don't understand consequences. That part of their brain is not fully developed. That's why they're with us, and we help walk them through life, and that's just part of doing the right thing. So I don't know. It's rough being a parent some days. But I know we
It
wanted to do
is.
end of your Litecoin. I really want to talk about the Indian stuff.
Yeah, let's
Blast
let's
through
talk
that.
about it. Let's
Okay, let me
we put
blast through my conspiracy
okay,
theory
and then
Indian
we'll
thing.
end. We'll talk about some Litecoin recaps end of year because we put that in the
Okay, yes,
title.
because we
So
have to do that. I
yep.
won't keep you too terribly long, but I've got to go through this with you guys. So when this popped up, this just confirmed this to me. This was the last thing I saw today. But it reminded me of when Trump spoke in his State of the Union, his last State of the Union. He was gone with the wind, blah, blah, blah. And he said it like however many times. Public and I did a video about it. We decoded it through Gematria. Gone with the wind meant like we have everything or we have it all. And it meant like some kind of video film or where it's not digital film. It's like the old tape film. Well, Epstein list just came out, right? Um, we know at least who was flying there. Clinton went 26 times. We don't know what he did once he went there, but the tapes know. And if the tapes get released from the Gone with the Wind style tapes, because Trump said they don't make them like that anymore. They used to make it on that beautiful old film. Not like this digitized stuff now. Like he went into this whole big thing on it. Okay, so then that was my last kind of like, oh yes, I'm right. I'm universe is sending me on the right trail. But oh God, no, do not cancel. But I thought it was going to close on me here. I went pretty quickly down this, and like I said, I'll try to blast through it. I'll just share the links in Telegram so it's easier and we can go much faster. But the remains of thousands of Native Americans were returned to tribes this year. That was an odd thing. That was actually mentioned in the NDAA that Public and I read. That was Trump's last NDAA. Was that
looked
that
like
was
a way higher number than usual too, Lisa. I glanced
yes,
at that article real quick. It looked like it was off
thousands.
Yes.
Remains of thousands. Well, why all of a sudden and why now? They did this huge flag display just recently outside of the Capitol here in Oklahoma. It's a flag display outside of Capitol of Oklahoma, honors tribal nations. That's kind of strange in the end of the year. Like, what's that about? Then one of the tribes buys a 10,000 acre north of California land in a landmark deal. That just happened. I think jurisdiction is going to be an issue. We're seeing Texas create their own, 29 or 28 states have made gold and silver the legal tender. Texas is working on their digital backed gold and silver currency. There's also Texit has been like, I don't know if it's started or been put into action, but I know it's like up for vote or whatever. And then I saw this from Red Pill Drifter. And I remember Trump saying, we're going to get all the diamonds back. I don't know if you guys remember that in any of his speeches, but he talked about, oh, darling, we're going to get all the diamonds back. We're going to get all the diamonds back. Well, apparently when Epstein's home was raided, there were tons of cash and diamonds. And they said that the cremation diamond industry is huge business, that they're making diamonds from the carbon found in humans. So is that how the thousands of Indian or tribal Native Americans were returned to tribes this year? Were their remains diamonds? And then there was remember that the White House Christmas decorations this year were a gingerbread house. What happened? The witch lived in the gingerbread house and she put them in the oven and she was going to eat the children. Do you guys remember that? That's what was going on this year.
Messaging.
That is some serious messaging. Also, my little comic book, which I got to find it, that I just picked up because it was the Woo Woo Warriors. And it talked about we're going to get the diamonds back. And it was Bugs Bunny got like kidnapped by the Indians, but then the Indians ended up being good because they were actually they were being like harvested or whatever. And then it was this whole thing about, or their diamonds were being stolen, I guess. I got to find that.
Diamonds are also, Lisa, diamonds and artwork are two of the biggest ways to launder money.
Oh.
The reason being, gold or silver is by the weight. So it's pretty straightforward. An ounce of gold, an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver. 1 Bitcoin's 1 Bitcoin. A piece of artwork, you could buy it for $50,000 and sell it for $2 million. It's all subjective. It's art.
That's like why they paid so much for Hunter's slop around or whatever.
Yes. And it's it's kind of like a loophole to launder money. Same thing with diamonds. There's no diamonds. There's different grades of them.
Yeah, people could say it's this or that, I guess.
Sure, they could say, how do you validate that? It's not you
get a crooked jeweler to write it up that it's whatever.
And if it's a different, if the diamond's bigger versus smaller, it's worth a lot more money than a bunch of small diamonds or equal that big diamond. The great, so diamonds are really corrupt. It's another big time way to launder money.
Well, so I saw that, and then I was scrolling through Facebook to put because I did a video for Mighty Merchants today, and I was scrolling to post that on there, and there's this tribal fashion show thing, and it's all these young, beautiful Native American women, but they're like, it started out really pretty and like beautiful, like gowns and big feathers. And then at the end, the last one was wearing like knee high or thigh high hooker boots, and her butt was like almost hanging out of her dress. And like it got real trashy, and it was called Cherry Choke. And I thought, they're gonna tell, and I've been talking about this for a while, that I think that the numbers are off because they're not reporting the missing women and children so that they keep getting the money. And I think that is going to be exposed, and all the people that are in it. And this is all allegedly in my crazy little conspiracy theory mind. I'm just putting some dots together. You guys do your own research and think for yourself, come up with your own idea. But in the Kim Clemente prophecy, he said they would stop eating their children, and then we would become one party. And he would go, "We are one, we are one, we are one." And Trump has been saying to leave the caucus or leave the GOP, and everybody sign up for the caucus, sign up for the caucus, sign up for the caucus. And then Vivek Ramaswamy was saying, like, if they don't put Trump on, I'm going to take off too, and I'm joining the caucus. And so isn't caucus like carcass, like the body? We are one body. It could be forming like a new party. I don't know. I just feel like there's too much. There's a lot of woo in there, but there's too much there. And then to see this at the end of the day, I'm like, Gone with the Wind. Well, there we go. The diamonds are coming back.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
And there's something with, so I've been following that McGirt case here in Oklahoma, where they were doing the tribal land. Is it tribal land or is it Oklahoma land? Who has jurisdiction? And I think that's going to be part of it, is this establishing jurisdiction, as, you know, whether the Texas thing happens or not, or if as states decide that, that the Fed Corp is in breach of contract, that broke the agreement that we had with them to do their job that they didn't do. So they don't have jurisdiction anymore over the states. I mean, there's all of those conversations. I think that all kind of comes together, and hopefully people can see that too.
Let's hope there's different ways that wake people up. If it's whatever it is that strikes a chord in people, it's just wake up and see what's going on. You know, it's different things are going to wake up different people based on background, need, timing, what's applicable to them. So, you know, that's why I always say, don't get frustrated if somebody doesn't understand the crypto angle. You might want to get them through the freedom angle, or this corrupt stuff that's going on, or stuff with, human trafficking or things like that, there's all different things that might just strike a chord in someone. They might say, whoa, these people are against us. You know what I mean? And it's all the same. We're all fighting the same fight. If you're fighting the fight of freedom, we're all in this together. We're just all coming at it from our different angle. But remember, we're all on the same team against them. It's us versus them. And it's that's why my beef of people that why the precious metals and crypto people hate each other so much. It's the same argument. Or I don't even see that crypto and precious metals people hate it. What about the infighting within crypto?
That's what I was going to say. And that's where I had a friend asking me about getting some Litecoin, and he's a big privacy guy. And he was like, you know, with the way that they're pushing these things down, like the T-Mobile thing, these other things that are rolling out, MWeb may be the only way to privately send a message to a friend. Forget currency or its value,
Yeah,
number
we've
go up
talked about
value.
that. It might be the only way to get a message out there.
It may be.
That's the intrinsic value. I mean, I've talked about that. I said that at the Litecoin Summit in my last speech. I said in a potentially really dystopian world, the Litecoin or even Bitcoin blockchain may be the only way to get a message out. Your social credit score may not allow it.
Right.
And as crazy as that sounds, it's hold on, I'm just sending a text real quick.
No, you're good. I kept you
That's
after
the that's the intrinsic value. Forget currency. In a world of no value, that's the intrinsic value. Is that it's a decentralized messaging system. So it's maybe that leads us into our year-end Litecoin recap.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So let us know. What do you see as what did Litecoin do well this year?
So Litecoin, wow, what another big year. And it's not talked about by the popular influencers. It's kind of like the forgotten coin.
Wait a minute. I thought we were the popular influencers.
Yes, we are. But it's there was another halving.
Yeah.
So the third Litecoin halving went off without a hitch in a decentralized manner. That's really important because it just happens naturally. There doesn't need developers, don't need to do anything for this to happen. It's written into the code.
That's awesome.
Price-wise, the price did really good early in the year. And I'm talking relative to other cryptos. And then since the halving, the price has kind of fell off versus other cryptos. And that's to be expected. So oftentimes a pre-halving pump. And then you wait a little bit of time out after the halving, and then you start to see the price appreciate again. So I think we're starting to see it now. Looks like Litecoin is starting to gain some ground. But really big year. We saw transactions take off on the Litecoin network. So let's look at BitPay. That's the most popular crypto processor in the world. BitPay is the majority of the market share, and as far as a crypto gateway goes, or a way to process and accept crypto payments. Litecoin slowly gained ground on Bitcoin all year, and then last month it surpassed Bitcoin in terms of transaction volume. That's incredible because obviously Bitcoin is a lot more popular. The fact that Litecoin had more transactions than Bitcoin with the #1 crypto payment processor, that's really saying something. No other coins are even a close second besides for Bitcoin, obviously. Nothing else is even close. So it shows that when people have to send value, they're picking Litecoin. And the thing is with BitPay, and reason why people would pay with Litecoin, there's advantages a lot of times of paying with Lite. It's not just the novelty. It's not people doing this to be cool. Doing something to be cool is a onesie twosie. It's not statistics from the most popular payment processor out there. Those are cold, hard facts. Why would people pay with Litecoin? Well, let's see. If you go to buy precious metals online,
you get a discount on some of the businesses. I know
you get a disc. Everybody that sells precious metals, you get about a 3% discount to pay with Litecoin versus paying with a credit card or paying with PayPal. Not only that, you could purchase more at one time. Not only that, it clears instantly. With a credit card or PayPal, I believe you have to wait a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay.
So it clears instantly. You get a 3% discount. There's sites that I've seen where you get a 10% discount for paying with Litecoin or paying with cryptos. So we've seen transaction volume skyrocket. We've also seen network volume skyrocket. So the number of transactions daily Now, go back 5 years ago, the Litecoin blockchain did about 25,000 transactions per day on average. Go back to about a year ago, it was doing about 100,000 transactions per day. So, okay, volume was already increasing. It was up four or five times, maybe 100 to 125,000 transactions it had been averaging. We've seen this year on a few occasions where the Litecoin blockchain has cleared over 1 million transactions in one day, where it's done more transaction volume than Bitcoin or Ethereum. Not only that, even on the days of the most activity, the transaction fees have remained at under 1 penny. Under a penny. It's about 1/10 of a penny to send Litecoin. Now, not every wallet will reflect. You might have a wallet that says charges a couple cents to send Litecoin. That's the wallet putting a higher transaction fee on it. But you can send a Litecoin transaction for 1/10 of a penny. It's going to clear in the next block. So amazing stat that the transaction volume can spike like that and the fees stay just as low. Huge. Ordinals. We've seen the ordinals take off on Litecoin. There's been, I think, millions of ordinals that have been inscribed. That's big because that's a way to get that's an easy way to get a message out there on the blockchain. We've talked about it, that the Litecoin blockchain may be the only way to send a message in the future if your social credit score doesn't allow it. So the fact that there's a technology like these ordinals that could allow for that, allow for you to send an image, do all of that. MWeb, Mimblewimble, that's the privacy fungibility layer that's woven into the Litecoin blockchain. Not to mention, you could do more transaction throughput using MWeb. It allows for more transactions per second, more capacity, but volume going through MWeb and number of Litecoins in MWeb has risen. Okay, that's big. And it's still only available in Litecoin Core. It will be available soon in mobile wallets. There had to be certain updates done to make it so what's called a lightweight client can support MWeb. A lightweight client would be a wallet like Exodus, a wallet like Light Wallet. It's a wallet that doesn't involve you running a full node.
And doesn't it take so many Litecoin to run? Somebody was asking me the other day about running a core or running a node so you could do the MWeb. I think you have to have like 4. You don't have to have so many Litecoin on it.
You have 0 Litecoin in it. I have a Litecoin node on my desktop computer. Can't see it here, but I have it on the desktop computer, and you don't need any Litecoin in it, and you just can move a transaction into MWeb and out of it. So you don't need any Litecoin. There's no, just takes up a little bit of space on your computer, takes a little bit of time to download, but no Litecoin volume is required. What made the ordinals possible is the Taproot technology.
Okay. Yeah.
The Taproot implementation, which is implemented on the Litecoin blockchain as well, came to Bitcoin first, then was implemented into Litecoin. And we've seen when the Bitcoin transaction fees have skyrocketed, Litecoin has been that replacement network to use. Right. I mean, so it's just an all in all, another great year. And another year too, where Litecoin has not failed. That's really big. You don't want to have to know 1,000 developers are working on the blockchain at all times and it fails. I want to know, hey, nobody can be working on it and it just works. You know, in a really shit hit the fan.
And the Doge merge mining, was that this year?
Merge mining happened years ago, but
Years ago, okay.
that means you get Dogecoin and Litecoin for.
But that helps that when it gets like all mined up, it's an incentive for it to continue to be mined, because then they could still be getting Doge.
It makes it more profitable too. You think about it, you get 2 coins instead of just one. You get
Yeah,
Dogecoin
so as
and
Doge is
Litecoin.
mined in the future, then
Yep.
Litecoin will be confirmed as well. So it's
So really great year. A bunch of cool things happened. No hiccups. Another year that the blockchain ticks along. And price wise, we did good early in the year, leading into the halving. We've kind of fell off lately, but don't expect Litecoin to stay down for long. I mean, Litecoin, I think, is probably, besides for silver, it's one of the most undervalued assets on planet Earth right now.
mm-hmm.
And, I can argue that Litecoin probably has more upside than silver. I love physical silver, but reason being, I have my own theory that silver, as undervalued as it is, they will never let the price run up too high because it's needed in all the technology, and there's never really going to be true free markets in precious metals. And
that it would go to a certain point and then they would like make it illegal like they did gold or something. And
yeah, well, think about it. No country has the incentive for silver to move up in price. Gold, they do. Central banks buy gold as a tier 1 asset.
Right.
Litecoin, sure, they might, because they might own Litecoin, and there's countries that own Bitcoin, they own Litecoin. They might have the Litecoin ET. So Litecoin,
India put guidelines in place for Bitcoin ETF this morning as well. Cashless or creation of cash and cashless. So that's concerning.
So I still think silver is really undervalued. I'm not saying that, but I just think that there's reasons why they might block it from running, is all I'm saying. So I still think it should go up in price a lot, but it might, again, sorry to go off on the silver tangent.
No, you're good. You're good.
Talk about that another day. But yeah, all good things for Litecoin. I'd expect a big 2024, and it's I think there's only good stuff to come. So it's if you got to send value, you have to pay for something online. Litecoin is your option. If you have to use a crypto, like, definitely use Litecoin.
Well, you heard it here, folks. So use Litecoin, pay with Litecoin, buy whatever the heck you want. But do your research first and make sure that you are following all the protocols and know what you're getting yourself into. So thanks, Johnny. I hope you have a great new year. Will it be the new year by the time we get back together? I think it will.
It's our last show of 2023.
Last show, 2023. Good riddance, 2023.
Been always a good year with you guys. Always love the show. So happy New Year, everybody, and see you next year.
All right. We'll see you guys on Happy Hour. Thank you for everyone watching. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate those that take a minute to like and subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share them. That's really helpful to me. So turn on that bell, join us for another one, and jump in the live chat with all these great folks over here. So we'll see you guys next time.